Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Open your hearts, everyone.
Okay. Where exactly is this party I was invited to? And where's Eagle? Not that I'm afraid in the least. No, not at all.
And like a speeding bullet, here is the great and mighty eagle. Ah, Turkey, my fine feathered friend. Got your message. What's the story?
Well, Mr. America, I heard there was going to be a discussion here about changing the national bird of the United States. So, I thought we should be here. The dove couldn't make it, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, given your appetite for small birds.
No worries, Mr. Fancy Pants. Don't get your waddle in a twist. I just finished a black bass I stole from Osprey, so I'm full.
Phew. Thank goodness. Okay, so this thing is about to get going, and I think you should know that I'm betting that these Unitarian Universalists are going to lean toward tapping me for the national bird post.
You're kidding, right?
No, not at all. I think they might be tired of your thieving, bloody ways and your sky-high self-esteem. Not to mention your drab outfit, your early baldness, your affinity for roadkill, and your sprawling penthouse apartments. I, on the other hand, am a family man. The little women laid 14 eggs this year each, and the baby poults were eating bugs the day after they were born. We gear up pretty quick, and we're community-minded. I am also a natty, iridescent dresser, and a vegetarian, mostly. Keep a modest garden apartment, move about the territory in a peaceable manner. And by the way, I'm no couch potato. I can run 25 miles an hour and I can fly at 50. I'd look great on a dollar bill and much less frightening to the children.
Okay, so yeah, 1 or 2 eaglets do need a little bit of coddling, and we do tend to self-isolate, but ouch on that bald thing. It's white feathers. No, not no feathers. As for stealing food, it just gives us more leisure time. And trust me, death by eagle is mostly quick and bloodless. And don't diss this roadkill until you've tried it.
Blech.
Putrid is the new delicious. I'm fierce, fast, ruthless, regal, and sharp-sighted. Perfect for the empire I was chosen to represent. Furthermore, millions of human beings do not roast and eat my domesticated brethren on Thanksgiving. Nobody eats an eagle. Top of the food chain. And one more thing. Eagles can mate while free falling at a 100-mile-an-hour dive. Top that for all-American skill.
Well, you put up a good defense, Mr. Empire. I'm more of a little league umpire than big league empire, I think. But let's see what these folks say. We entered, rejoiced, and came in. And now they're about to welcome us.
Well, thank you, Eagle and Turkey. We'll hear more from you later. Good morning, friends, and welcome on this Sunday morning to the online service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. My name is Mike Hoffman, and I'm honored to serve as your worship associate this morning, 4 days before Thanksgiving. Our minister is the Reverend Margie Allen, and our Director of Religious Education is Deborah Little. I'd like to offer a special welcome to anyone who is new to our fellowship. I hope that you will find among us hope, inspiration, and nourishment for your spirit. Unitarian Universalism is a free religion with no set of rules which must be followed. We have two commitments: freedom of belief and an orientation towards inclusion, interdependence, and justice. We practice 7 principles and have many sources of wisdom. You can find additional information about these on our webpage at UUFSB.org. Since our services vary from week to week, we hope that you will attend several times in order to get the truest sense of who we are as a community of faith. At the conclusion of our morning service, we will have a virtual coffee hour. It will take a few moments to get everyone admitted, so please be patient while our amazing and dedicated tech team makes us visible and audible to each other. After this greeting time, we encourage you to join one of the small group chats by leaving the main meeting and signing back into the small group chats link listed on the webpage or in our Saturday news feed. So refill your coffee and share some quality time with fellow members and friends.
The Nepalese Buddhist bell that I sound this morning serves as our Sunday Liberty Bell, reminding us that the moral center of our freedom to pursue our own happiness as Americans lies in the integrity of our relationships with our fellow Americans, our nation, and our earth. We cannot be for ourselves alone and survive. Our bell calls us now into the true liberty of the love that unites us.
Our chalice lighting today is adapted from Katie Gelfand's words and is titled "The Abundance of Our Lives Together." We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In our community, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us.
Good morning, my beloved friends. I'm imagining you sitting in with your coffee or your tea behind this virtual dark curtain of our Zoom worship webinar this morning. I can see you there. With this Thanksgiving service, we begin a holiday season radically modified by pandemic precautions. Linda and Matt and I will not be hosting a potluck Thanksgiving for 30 at the fellowship this year. We will eat our turkey and fixings together at home. I hope most of you will be celebrating safely at home as well, alone or with your household of family or animal companions. We gather here this morning, though, to express, as always at this time, our gratitude for life and love, and this year to welcome Turkey and Eagle into our midst, to participate in a reflection about who we want to be as a nation as we emerge at some unknown point from this dimension of rumination and constraint. I'm so glad you're here. Our opening hymn we sing now together is set to the tune Kremser, which is uniquely tied to the Thanksgiving holiday and also in most of our memories to years of Thanksgivings past. The words in our hymnal emphasize less an appeal to God for blessings than the original words, as much as gratitude for the people through whom God's blessings flow to us, often at great sacrifice. I hope you'll add your voice to mine and others in this virtual sanctuary as we sing together.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought, for life that unfolds us and helps and yields and holds us and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes have won by their labor, their sorrow, their pain. The oppressed and befriending, our ampler hopes defending, their death becomes a triumph they died not in vain. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times and names and places. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
I invite you to enter a space of meditation. I will share some words which will be followed by silence. We will come out of our meditation time by singing the Silver Rain. You will have received a copy of the sheet music for Silver Rain in your holiday gift bag. The melody will be played by Dan Weymouth and the words will be on the screen. Please sit comfortably and breathe normally. I invite you to listen to this poem by Gwendolyn Brooks called Paul Robeson. Brooks reminds us of the deep and compelling voice of Robeson singing Old Man River. Brooks, the Black prize-winning poet, and Robeson, the Black humanitarian activist, are connected through the shared convictions that Black lives matter, and that we belong to each other. Victoria Price reflects on this poem in her daily Practice of Joy blog. This poem, she writes, tells us that alone we are nothing. We have no supply, no abundance, no plenty. But together, acting as if each other's business is also our own, in commitment to the well-being of all in the interconnected web, from an abundance of love, we belong to each other. Here is the poem. That time, we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge and other symptoms of an old despond. Warning, in music words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond.
The silver rain, the golden sun, and fields where scarlet poppies run, and all the ripples of the wheat are in the bread that I do eat. So when we sit at every meal and give our thanks, we always feel that we are eating rain and sun, and fields where scarlet poppies run. The silver rain, the golden sun, and fields where scarlet poppies run, and all the ripples of the wheat are in the bread that I do eat. So when we sit at every meal and give our thanks, we always feel that we are eating rain and sun, and fields where scarlet poppies run.
Now, we invite you to listen in as Thomas Jefferson, played by Ariana Kata, John Adams, played by Amber Corrigan, and Benjamin Franklin, played by Rose Meliker Hammer, gather outside a hall of the Continental Congress, which is meeting in Philadelphia in 1776. Jefferson is listening to the reading of his Declaration of Independence. Jefferson speaks first, then Adams, then Franklin.
They're reading the Declaration.
What? How far have they got?
To render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
Well, there's nothing to fear. It's a masterpiece. I'm to be congratulated.
You?
For making him write it.
Yes, of course.
It's a masterpiece, I say. They will cheer every word, every letter.
I wish I felt that way.
I believe I can put it better. Now then attend, as friend to friend, our declaration committee. For us, I see immortality.
In Philadelphia City.
A farmer?
A lawyer.
And a sage, a bit gouty in the leg. You know, it's quite bizarre to think that here we are, playing midwives to an egg.
An egg? What egg?
America, the birth of a new nation.
If only we could be sure of what kind of bird it's going to be.
Tom's got a point. What sort of bird should we pick as the symbol of our new America?
The eagle.
The dove.
The turkey.
The eagle.
The dove.
The eagle.
The dove.
The eagle.
The eagle.
The turkey.
The eagle is a majestic bird.
The eagle is a scavenger, a thief, a coward, and the symbol of over 10 centuries worth of European mischief.
And the turkey?
A truly majestic bird, a native to America, and a source of sustenance to our settlers. He's an incredibly brave fellow who would not flinch before attacking an entire regiment of Englishmen. Therefore, the national bird of America is going to be
the eagle.
The eagle.
We're waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp of an eaglet being born. Waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. God knows the temperature's hot enough to hatch a stone, let alone an egg. We're waiting for the scratch, scratch, scratch of that tiny little fellow. Waiting for the egg to hatch on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. God knows the temperature's hot enough to hatch a stone, but will it hatch an egg? The eagle's gonna crack the shell of the egg that England laid. Yes, sir, we can tell on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. And just as Tom here has pretended, though the shell belonged to pretend, the eagle inside belongs to us. And just as Tom here has pretended, we say to hell with great pretend, the eagle inside belongs to us.
Our national bird. What a wonderful job, you girls. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Our founding mothers. In 1784, a year and a half after the eagle was adopted by Congress as the centerpiece of the Great Seal of America, the United States, Benjamin Franklin wrote his daughter, Sally, a letter couched in a complex satirical critique in which he disparaged the character of the eagle and lifted up the dignity of the turkey. In that letter, never sent, by the way, and not made public until 1817, he noted the turkey might have been a better choice. He wrote, For my own part, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen the representative of our country. He is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. You may have seen him perched on some dead tree near the river where, too lazy to fish for himself, he watches the labor of the fishing hawk. And when that diligent bird has at length taken a fish and is bearing it to his nest for the support of his mate and young ones, the bald eagle pursues him and takes him from him. With all this injustice, he is never in good case, but like those among men who live by sharping and robbing, he is generally poor and often very lousy. Besides, he is a rank coward. The little kingbird, not bigger than a sparrow, attacks him boldly and drives him out of the district. He is therefore by no means a proper emblem for the brave and honest people of America who have driven all the kingbirds from our country. For in truth, the turkey is, in comparison, a much more respectable bird, and withal a true original native of America. He is besides, though a little vain and silly, a bird of courage, and would not hesitate to attack, as we have heard, a grenadier of the British Guards who should presume to invade his farmyard with a red coat on. That was Benjamin Franklin to his daughter. The turkey and the eagle were at the very top of the list of creatures considered for the seal. Also considered the rattlesnake, the rooster, and a phoenix in flames. The wild turkey and the bald eagle, though, had the distinction of being native to North America and found only here. So the decision came down to the two of them, and our founding fathers chose the bald eagle. Our visiting eagle here this morning proclaimed to the turkey, "I'm fierce, fast, ruthless, regal, and sharp-sighted, perfect for the empire I was chosen to represent." When I see official representations of the eagle, those have been my impressions as well, along with dangerous, strikingly beautiful, skilled, dignified, and unassailable. Eagles have an average wingspan tip to tip of 6 to 7 feet, and they stand 3 feet tall. They are huge birds. Top of the food chain indeed. The guys who picked the eagle for the seal had only lately come through the brutal Revolutionary War. It seems reasonable that in creating our great seal, they might have opted for the bird that would keep the rest of the world admiring and fearing us in equal measure and from a safe distance. Two things commend the eagle to me as a symbol of our nation. And these factors may or may not have been salient in the original decision. Eagles have amazing eyesight. Their eyes are unusually large for a bird, taking up about 50% of their head. And their anatomy allows for 2 centers of focus, forward and to the side, both at the same time. Seeing clearly at great distance is a gift, as is having a wider than normal perspective on what is going on around you. The other thing is that the indigenous population of this land had, long before Europeans ever thought of coming here, honored the eagle as a sacred animal, close to the Great Spirit, ruler of the sky. They bring powerful medicine to the people and serve as models of grace, strength, courage, and wisdom. To this day, the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act of 1940 prohibits the possession of eagle feathers, even naturally shed feathers, by any non-Native American. I wonder if our nation's character and reputation might have been rooted in a different set of values had Congress chosen the turkey for the seal. The family model of emblematic bird, as Turkey mentioned earlier, more the Little League umpire type than the conquering empire type image, and a whole different kind of beauty, less regal and pristine and more fanciful and playful. I had never been as close to a wild turkey as I was one day a couple years ago when I was parking my car outside of Judy and Bernie Stiebel's house in Coram. A whole bevy of wild turkeys stalked right down the sidewalk outside my driver's window, so I got a close-up look at the lady's jewel-like collage of iridescent feathers. Vain and silly? Well, yeah, the male's display is pretty over the top, and our nation resembles that remark at times in our courting and our posturing behaviors before the world. But also peaceful, fruitful, communitarian, grounded, colorful, and a symbol of the abundance North America has offered human beings back through time. We turned to the turkey for our holiday tables even before Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving an official holiday in 1863. Wild turkeys were plentiful in the countryside and also in the cycle of slaughter of domesticated turkeys on farms. And one bird was usually big enough to feed a whole family. The huge turkey that Scrooge procured for the Cratchit family in Dickens' story, A Christmas Carol, also played a role. All this turkey lore then was later read back into the largely mythic story of the first Thanksgiving of European colonizers with the Wampanoag Native Americans, even though the fowl the indigenous folk were said to have contributed to the feast were just as likely to have been geese or ducks. Domesticated turkeys these days have been bred a world away from their native genes, with much, much more attention paid to the development of their breast muscles than to honing the sharpness of their wit. So being called a turkey these days is certainly no compliment. But wild turkeys are a different animal, and they are thriving on Long Island right now. In Suffolk County, there are around 6,000 of them, strutting their virtues regularly year to year on sidewalks and backyards, reminding us that Thanksgiving is coming and that we have much for which to be grateful. The turkey lost the contest in 1782. If we held it again today and you had a vote in Congress, which bird would you choose as the central figure of the great seal of our nation, the eagle or the turkey? Vote now in the chat. Amen.
It is our spiritual practice to encourage ourselves in generosity by taking an offering to support the mission of an agency doing the work of social justice. This week, we dedicate our full collection plate to the UU Trauma Response Ministry. The Unitarian Universalist Trauma Response Ministry provides a culturally sensitive spiritual care to survivors of disasters and significant trauma, both natural and human-made. Trained volunteers offer support, crisis counseling, resources, workshops, and education to individuals, religious professionals, congregations whose worlds have been shaken. Our own Reverends Margie Allen and Linda Anderson, as well as Peggy Fort and Greta Johnson-Sally, serve as among the trained responders. The Unitarian Universalist Association pays for travel, housing, and meals for deployments. Other activities of the Trauma Response Ministry, such as trainings, preparedness workshops, 24-hour hotline, and more, are funded through the generosity of individuals and congregations like ours. So please give generously to share the work of this important ministry. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. Whoosh. Well, silly bird, which of us did they choose? I can't make out the meaning of the black marks in the screen.
As best as I can make out, Lord of the Great Seal, it seems they mostly chose me, Turkey. But, I think we both came out of it with a more honest portrait of our powers. I, the power of community.
And I, the power of the individual.
I, a symbol of abundance and prosperity.
And I, a symbol of wisdom and vision and courage and dignity.
And I, as beautiful as you, though more colorful and showy.
And I, as beautiful as you, but rarer and more distant.
We make good partners in representing these United States, I think.
Indeed. But to be honest, do keep an eye on those baby fluffs of yours as they are poking around in a leaf litter. You know how I am.
Ah.
Whoosh. So now, thank you for that beautiful music, Peter and Deede. We invite everyone to join us in singing our final hymn, Thanks a Lot, by the beloved children's music performer, Raffi. The words are on the screen and the melody is very singable.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the sun and the sky. Thanks a lot. Thanks for clouds so high. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the whispering wind. Thanks a lot. Thanks for birds in the spring. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the moonlit night. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the stars so bright. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the wonder in me. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the way I feel. Thanks for the animals, thanks for the land, and thanks for the people everywhere. Thanks a lot. Thanks for all I've got. Thanks for all I've got.
And now, as I extinguish this chalice, I have adapted these words from Deborah Burrell. We have basked in the warmth and beauty of this flame and this community. As the chalice flame is extinguished, let us carry its glow within. Let us kindle new sparks within these walls and beyond.
So the vote was close, right? If we counted all the members of households who voted. But whoever would have won out, I think the conclusion is true, that we count on both of them to speak about us as Americans. And I think the eagle is displayed in this poem that I selected for our benediction, which I know you've heard before. in such a way that we can be proud to morph more towards the medicinal character of the eagle in native tradition. This is Eagle Poem by Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self, to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments steadily growing and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like that eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky and wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion, like eagle, rounding out the morning inside us. We pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. Happy Thanksgiving.